How are you? Assalamu alaikum. I have 20 minutes. I think I will try to make them efficient. And I don't have any slides, so I wanted actually to use this one because it reminded me of something. A very famous astrophysicist, when he was studying physics, someone that I really respect, and I saw this chart that reminded me of him. He was studying physics, and in the university they forced him to take a course in arts. And he was finding this thing very boring. He had no talent for art. You know, most of us have no talent for art. But if we don't understand art, forget about physics. And they had shelves with some items in the shelves. I think they were glasses. And they tell them, draw the glasses. So he's drawing the glasses for 3 months or something like this. And they drew all the glasses. When they finished, they gave them a blank sheet of paper, and they said, draw what is in between the glasses. Do you understand? Draw what is in between the glasses. What do you see here? This is the sky. What do you see here? Planets. Astrophysics is about what is between the planets, right? What you cannot see. Dark matter. That was the miscalculation that took a lot of time for people to find out and model correctly. It means that the answer may come from another subject than you believe. I also, seeing this, I don't know why, but I remembered this joke. Maybe it's a stupid joke, but it made me think when I heard it. It made me think a lot. We all know Muhammad Ali Clay, who was a world champion in boxing. He was a very good-looking man, charisma. He made the world champion. He can dance. He can win. And he became a world hero, world champion. Yani maybe in all this universe, in all this cosmos, we are the only people who are living, we don't know, but he was our champion, boxer. The joke is that he was on a plane, and he's sitting as the hero, the champion. He called himself Superman, Superman. And they make the announcement, plane will leave now, will take off, put your seatbelt. And the hostess come to him, tell him, Mr. Clay, put your seatbelt. He said, I am Superman. I don't need a seatbelt. The captain had to come to him and tell him, this plane will not go before you put your seatbelt. He told him, I am Superman. I don't need a seatbelt. The captain told him, Superman doesn't need a plane. Get off the plane. That's a very important lesson. So even if you become #1 in the world, even if you are Google and you became #1 in the world, life is not what you expect. So I like to analyze situation from direction that people are not expecting. Also sometimes even I am not expecting. Can I just try to understand who is here? How many people here are from technology background? Technology? Okay, not that much. Good. How many of you are from marketing and such things? Not technology. Okay, good. It's a good mix. I mean, good. So I think that the first thing is about, as far as I'm concerned, is probability of success, you know? Because we have to analyze what is the success of the probability of doing anything, especially if you are trying to build new companies. People always focus on what is the probability that I will succeed. Probability of success, this also came from another astrophysicist somehow I was thinking about this morning. That's why this related also to the second one. And he took Einstein equation and he just changed the order of it and 10 years later decide to solve a problem that nobody else could solve, and he won a Nobel Prize for it. Probability of success is simply 1 minus the probability of failure. So let's bring the probability of failure to this side of the equation. This is probability of failure. If we focus on what we should not do in order not to fail, it's a better step towards success than only looking at success. What is dangerous about success? Muhammad Ali became the #1 champion in the world. It was not enough for him. He wanted to fly on a plane, okay, more rights than other people because he doesn't want to be tied. Okay? Actually, he's being tied for his safety, for his safety. Also for the safety of the passenger in front of him, because he may bump into the passenger in front of him. So probability of failure is a better measure for people who are taking risk than probability of success. If your model in life is people who succeeded, in my opinion, you have the wrong model, because you can never copy the success of somebody else. Never. Never, never, never. Yani, Google made a great success. It is a function of 2 simple parts: circumstance and innovation, right? The conditional probability of this, if we take the circumstance given, the conditional probability given the circumstance of success is not that low, by the way. But if you add circumstance, which is 1 in 50 years on planet Earth, then you shouldn't try to be a Google, see? Don't even dream of being a Google or a Microsoft or a Facebook or all of these, all of these things. Just forget about them, okay? They are the worst thing to try to dream about even. They are meaningless for you and for me. They have no meaning, nothing. What you have to measure are small successes that build and they become bigger, because the importance of building companies is to make sure that they survive. If you build a company that can break even, have X employees that earn a salary from it, you are a big success. Even if you are 2 employees, 10 employees, 50, 100, it doesn't matter. You build a company which is worth $100,000, that's a success. It's worth $1 million, that's a better success. It doesn't matter if it becomes more. This is very, very important, okay? Because the enemy of success is greed. Greed is a very, very bad thing to have. Let me tell you something. All these very successful people that built these very big companies, most of them were not greedy people. They did not do this because they want to make money. No. Money came, but it wasn't why they did it. You notice many of them, the more money they make, the more money they give, okay? So money is not important, okay? Of course, we need money to live. All of us need some money to live, but money cannot be the objective. So I ask how one can approach life. If we say, you want to succeed for money or fame, these are 2 bad reasons to succeed. Let's remove these 2 reasons. Now, if we take the conditional probability part I mentioned and look at opportunity in the world of today. When I was your age, it was not possible to even imagine starting my own company from what I wanted to do in my life, because I was an engineer, and it was not possible to start your own company at that time. If you wanted to do something serious, if you can do something stupid, you can start anything. But I wanted to do something serious in my subject, for example. Whereas if I were your age, with the opportunities that you have, most likely I would have never started a job in the beginning of my life. It took me around 10, 12 years to start my first own company, and then I was bought by another company straight away, but that's not the point. The point is that I was willing to take the risk in the first year, but I understood that it would be a mistake for me to do that. And I had to wait for the right opportunity. Today, you are all very lucky, because the best thing is to take the biggest risk when you have the least responsibility, because you are young. And when you are young, up to, when I say young, by the way, it can be any age. You know, any age is young. 25, 30 is young. When you begin to get in the mid-30s, you are not young anymore, because now, you know, you may get married, you may begin to have children, and then at this stage in your life, if you are still an entrepreneur, you are going to put a lot of pressure on your family life. On your wife, on your husband, it will become very, very difficult. And that's why, you know, divorce rates increase, and it puts a lot of pressure on people. And that also affects the probability of failure, which is why I mentioned them. Now, why are these humanistic aspects very important? Because nobody can succeed on their own. It's just not possible to succeed on your own. The stronger you are, the more people you need to help you, and the more money you need. I have heard about a very interesting person coming from marketing area. I'm not giving any names, by the way, of any of these people, because I don't want it to sound as if they are very important. Nobody is that important. Okay, so I don't want to make this talk about there are some gurus and famous people. I'm just giving you what they said. For example, this person influenced me a lot. Coming from marketing area, I never thought somebody from marketing area, for example, could influence my thinking this much, and that is a weakness in me. This is not a strength, because I'm more technology affected, and this is very bad. This is one of my weakest sides. And he said, this affected me a lot. He said that success can come from innovation, or it can come from marketing. Okay? Now, he says like this. He says that in the first case, you can find out what people want. So we find out that people want, for example, to do a certain task in a certain way. And then we find a way to make it, right? This is the engineering way. That's what they teach you in engineering school. They give you a problem, and they tell you solve it. So you solve this problem at the lowest cost, at the best quality, in the shortest time, whatever. You put the criteria, the engineer will find a solution for you. Now, engineers are like robots. If you give him the problem, he will solve the problem. Hopefully, he will give him the right problem to solve. In most cases, they solve the wrong problem. So that's the first case. This is the normal case. Then he said the following, which really had a big influence on me. And he said, the other way is to find out something you can make. Something you can make. Okay? And then you find an ingenious way to make people want it. And when I heard this upside-down equation, I was fascinated, because this is about market making. This means that if someone by accident finds out that he can build a product that does a certain thing, but maybe nobody in the world needs such a service or a product, the person who can find a way to make a market for that, so it means that the innovation can come from finding a way to make that useful to somebody, meaning to sell it. This combination is actually what makes businesses successful. And what unfortunately happens in most of the young companies is that they end up missing out on one or the other. So in relation to, if I can leave only some, in 20 minutes, there's not much more one can say, is to leave with you some of these ideas. That when you are working strongly in a technology area, make sure that you have somebody from marketing who every day tells you that you are wrong. Because you are wrong. It's impossible for you to be right. It's not possible. If you are a technology person, you are bound to be wrong on what is the best way to sell your product. Because your brain is only working on developing that product. And your brain cannot handle the other side, which requires a different form of innovation. It's innovation that you do not have. And the same thing comes from the marketing innovation, by the way. The marketing innovation can push the technology person to say, why are you focusing on this feature in this product? you are wasting 10 man-hours on this feature. Let's develop this other feature. The other feature is what the person wants, which brings us to a new world, by the way. And if today I were going to go to university, my decision when I wanted to go to university was very easy. I mean, I decided maybe when I was 13, 14, that I wanted to be an electronic engineer. So, right or wrong, that's what I wanted to be. If today I was 13, 14 years old, I would study cognitive science. And that's what I'm doing now, and I studied cognitive science. What is cognitive science? Cognitive science has 6 subjects. And cognitive science is what you can learn in 6 subjects in university, which I find is what will drive the future of business and what the customer needs. From technology side, it includes neuroscience and artificial intelligence. 2 very important areas. One is about understanding the brain, and you know that the mapping of the brain will be finished in the next 10 years. It's the most important project that humanity is working on right now. The brain is as complicated as that picture. When you look at the sky, it is roughly the same number of complications. If you measure it in neurons, for example, it's roughly the same number of planets and entities out there in the sky. Same number, 100 billion plus, etc. Same complication. It is fascinating that what is here is as complicated as what is there. Second one is artificial intelligence, which is what? Which is the future of information technology. It is not what we are doing now. Actually, it's not what you are doing now, and it's not what people at my age even dreamt was possible. Okay? You are really living in the best time, And the next 4 subjects, what are they? Look at this. Language and psychology. Yes. Philosophy and anthropology. 4 subjects that have nothing to do with normal technology and science, even though psychology really is a science. And philosophy is, in fact, a form of science approach. Okay, but philosophy is not maybe science in the normal definition of the word. These subjects together can solve any problem, and you will be solving the right problem, meaning it is of use to society. So, to go back, what I really hope about people who are taking risk is to lower the risk of failure so that you are able to sustain building what you are building to the right level and make it self-sustainable. It means that the company generates enough money to pay the salaries of the people who are working in the company. When you reach to that point, that is the success. Okay? It is not how much money or fame you will derive from it. It's not, because if you reach that point without greed, without calculating how much money you will make if you succeed, if you just reach that point, then the next step will be a very big success for you, because now you are in a different level. You are now in the break-even level. If you approach an investor with an idea only, just an idea, okay, he will be very skeptical. If you ask him for $100,000, he will look at you and he will say, $100,000? If I give him $100,000, I want to make 1 million. I want to make 5 million from $100,000. Do you calculate who is the greedy person in the room? It's the investor who's the greedy person. But if you are also greedy, then both of you are never going to reach an agreement. Never. So please don't be greedy, because if you are successful, you will make something. And if you don't make enough the first time, definitely you will make a lot more the second time. Okay? Definitely. But if you start only with the idea about how much you are going to make, forget it. So starting companies is about sacrifice. Big sacrifice. It's not about what you will make. It's about what you will give. You are giving your life. You're giving your time. Some of you will give your money. Some of you will give your money. Some advice I also give to young people generally, please don't give your money and your time when you are starting something and you're young. Don't do that. Give either your money or your time. If you have a job, if you have a job, you have income, give your time, work at night, things like that until it works. But if you leave your job, it means you lose income, and you give your time, now you are taking a much bigger risk, okay? Just be careful, in most cases, not to lose both of them. In that case, bring an investor who should pay you some salary, okay? Because the more excited you are about what you are going to do, frankly speaking, the more excited you are, okay, the more someone should be holding you back. Don't get too excited, okay? Use the right side of your brain. Yeah, we all have two brains, and use the right side of the brain. So I think, I try maybe to say these things in a format that is maybe different from what other people will tell you. Also, I don't want to tell you things that you already know about what technology companies are doing. And I will end with two reasons for failure. There are two types of people who fail in the world. Two types, in simple form. There are the people who want to succeed at any price. The person who wants to succeed at any price is going to fail until he succeeds. Okay? That's all of you, I hope. And there's the kind who doesn't want to fail. And there's nobody here who doesn't want to fail. Because if you don't want to fail, then please leave this room right now, because you are going to fail. And try to fail 3 times to succeed, and after that, make sure that you don't fail again. Thank you very much.